everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bradley Craig and I am a musical theatre performer from England, currently working in Anastasia the Musical in Germany. Now, a couple of days ago I put out a Q&A on Instagram asking you guys if you had any questions whatsoever on what it's like to be a performer, what's it like to work in musical theatre, and honestly, I had so many great questions from you guys that I am going to make this into a completely separate video on what it's really like to be a musical theatre performer. So now that you know what this video is going to be about, I'm going to kick it right off and answer my first question. My first question is from Sarah Trocanis. Also guys, I'm probably going to be absolutely butchering your names and saying them completely wrong, so please feel free in the comments down below to let me know how to pronounce your name properly. The question is, if you want to be a dancer in a musical production, is it a must-have to be good at singing? Now this question is actually quite a tricky one because I really do think that it depends on what show you are auditioning for, because musical theatre is a general description of a show with singing, dancing and acting, but actually there are musical theatre shows that are much heavier in dancing and musical theatre shows that are much heavier in singing. But what I always tell myself, and the best advice that I can give, is if you want to go into musical theatre or any type of performing, you should be getting each discipline to the highest level you can. That way you're giving yourself much more opportunities and you're not restricted to one thing. So that would be my answer and my advice for you, because I honestly can't give a yes or a no answer to this question. I would just say get every discipline up to the highest level you can. Question number 2. Jeannie Gee says, how often do you see your friends and family? Again, this answer is going to be from my experiences, what I've been through, what I'm going through. I have never worked in the UK, which is where I'm from. I have worked overseas in America, in Asia, and now Germany, but I've never worked in England. So honestly, I don't see my family and friends, if we're talking about friends from home, that often. So for me, working overseas is obviously very different to if I was working in England, because if I was working in England, maybe it would be a 2-hour drive to come and see me. Whereas here, you have to think about flights, you have to think about hotels, you have to get time off work, I have to get time off work. So honestly, I don't see my family and friends that often, which obviously gets hard sometimes, but I think from a very young age, I as a person was very independent, and for me, I've dealt with the fact that I can't see my family and friends that often quite well, whereas I know some people in the industry do find it really difficult and a lot more difficult than me. But no matter where I am in the world, I'm always keeping in contact with them, and they know I love them and I know they love me. No matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, how far away we are, it's family and it's best friends. So, question number 3. This is a question that I got asked a few times, so I won't tell you who asked this question because it was asked by so many people. And the question is, do I get bored doing the same thing over and over again every night of every week? And the answer is no. As a performer, I'm so lucky to get to do what I love doing every day of my life, and I'm really grateful for that. So the question, do I get bored every day, is honestly no. I think as a performer, my job is also to keep creating and keep pushing myself in characters and in shows to do things that I wasn't doing in the first show, if that makes sense. So I'm constantly finding new ways to make the show interesting and the show fun and enjoyable. I find new connections with different characters on stage. And yes, of course, there are times when I think, oh, I really just don't want to do the show today. But that doesn't mean that as soon as I step on that stage, I'm dead. Because as soon as I step on that stage, you remember that you chose this profession for a reason because you love it. I could never get bored of doing the same thing over and over again. I say that now. If I was doing a show for 5-6 years, maybe I could say yes to that question. But for now, no. I'm enjoying my job and I love what I do. Question number 4. This question is from Verena.L135. And the question is, When do you get up in the morning? So as a performer, I obviously have quite a different work schedule to what most people would have if you were working a 9-to-5 job. My work starts in the evening, so honestly, I get in from work at around 10-11 a.m. I get in from work at about 10 or 11 p.m. at night, and then after being on stage and being so hyped up, I do need a couple of hours to wind down, relax, so I usually get up at around 10 or 11 a.m. Question number 5. The next question is from... Am I still recording? Yeah. The next question is from Lottie Marie. What shows have you already been in? So if you watched a couple of vlogs back, I did a Q&A on working for Royal Caribbean, which is a cruise line company, and I worked for them for 3 years. So some of these shows that I'm about to mention, you probably will never have heard of, but that's because they're in-house productions and they only play on cruise ships. My first contract, I did 3 shows called Jackpot, which was a Las Vegas kind of showboy showgirl show. I did Invitation to Dance, which was a ballroom show, which I learned so much in. And then the third show was Can't Stop the Rock, which was inspired by the movies, and it was very 90s jazz, hard, tiring, but I loved it. Then my second contract, I did a show called Starwater, which I absolutely loved. It was one of the best shows I've ever been a part of. I learned so much. I was a dancer and a featured aerialist. Then I did a replacement contract, again with Royal Caribbean, and I did 2 shows. One called Sequins and Feathers, which was another showboy showgirl show, and then a show called Sonic Odyssey, which was a beautiful show, and it was very contemporary. Then I did Cats the Musical, which was an amazing experience. I was Alonzo, understudy Monkastrap, and understudy Rum Tum Tugger, and I was also assistant dance captain for Cats. And alongside Cats, I did a show called Come Fly With Me, which was a fun show. I had fun doing that. Again, I was flying and dancing my heart out. And then that got me to here, and now I'm playing in Anastasia the Musical in Germany. Question number 6. Are we on question number 6? I think this is question number 6. And the question is from I Am Just Frenzy. What and how was your first ever audition? So actually my first ever audition was for a company in London called the London Children's Ballet, and this company is amazing. It allows young performers to have the opportunity to perform on a West End stage in a full-length ballet. I'm gonna say 14, but I could be wrong, and I don't really remember the audition actually. Oh no, I do remember the audition. And I was absolutely terrified, but it went well, and a few months later I was performing in a West End theatre in Rumpelstiltskin. It was my first time going somewhere and performing for something other than my regular musical theatre school in my hometown. So this was an amazing experience, and I really learned so much from doing this. Question number 7. This question is from LauraSo03. Are there sometimes weird moments with fans at the stage door, and do you like stage dooring? Well, this is my first job on land, because obviously straight out of college I worked for Royal Caribbean. So this is my first time experiencing fans at a stage door, or stage dooring as you call it. So if somebody calls my name, I am more than happy to go up to them and speak to them and get to know them. I'm still kind of getting used to how to react to that when it happens. My camera died. What was I saying? Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong whatsoever with somebody coming to the stage door and congratulating you on a good show. I think that's perfectly fine. So yeah, don't have a problem with it. Question number 8. This question is from Raja NDT. How old were you the first time you were on stage? I don't know why I picked this question, because I don't know. I'm gonna say 12. Question number 9. Ooh, that's hard. That's better. Tony.e. What would you suggest to young artists? I could suggest so many things to young artists that I would tell myself if I was me now telling myself back then what to do. The first thing being, keep at it. Don't stop trying. It gets hard sometimes, but just keep plowing through, and don't forget where you want to be. The second point, take everything you learn. If you are in a conservatory, do you call it conservatory? Conservatoire? If you're in a school for performing arts, just make every moment count. Even if you hate acting, or you hate singing, or you hate contemporary, try your hardest, because you can only grow from it. At some point in your career, I can probably guarantee you will be in a position where having the skill that you hated most in school will benefit you, and you could get a job from having that skill. Do I make sense? I'm not sure if I make sense. But just take every moment, soak it all in, learn everything you can. My third point would be, don't compare yourself to others. That will get you nowhere. Focus on yourself, focus on what you can do really well. I know that's a really easy thing to say because everybody compares themselves to other people, but you just have to focus on yourself, focus on growing, and just do what you do best. And my next point would be, never give up. There are gonna be times when you think, oh my God, like I can't do this anymore, I'm not having fun, it's really hard, I'm not getting anywhere. But these times will pass. If you are a hard worker and you make the most of every second and you take opportunities and you learn and grow, you will get to where you want to be. Just never give up and never lose sight of your goals. What question are we on? I think 10. Question number 10. This question is from Ruben. Is it hard to find a job as a performer? I can only answer this question from my point of view because it's different for every person. Now, I don't have an agent. I do everything myself currently. I find auditions myself. I think my answer to this question would be, it's hard if you make it hard. As a performer, all I can suggest is to go to every audition possible. You never know who is watching you in that audition room and could give you another opportunity even if you don't get the one you're in the room for. It can be hard to find a job. There's obviously dry periods, but having said that, work will always come if you are willing to find it and willing to work hard for it. So, yes and no. Question number 11. This question is from The Musical Suitcase, and the question is, did you ever have to play a scene you didn't want to play at all but that belongs to your role? How do you deal with it? This is an easy answer. Yes, always in your career you will have moments where you think, oh my gosh, this is so out of my comfort zone, I don't feel comfortable doing this. But this answer connects to many of the other answers that I've given. You just have to take everything as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to learn something new, push yourself, and you know, if you do something you're uncomfortable with, then the next time you won't be uncomfortable with it. You know what I mean? Even though that can be really difficult to do, you just have to have a mindset of, this can make me grow as a performer and a person. Do it, push yourself, and you'll end up having fun doing it. Obviously for me, working in Germany, I was very, very nervous to have German lines on stage, and even though my lines in the show currently are very small, I was nervous to do them. I thought, oh my God, I can't speak German. But I did it, and it got better and better and more comfortable and comfortable, and now I don't blink an eyelid at it, you know? I just go on stage and I do it because I pushed myself out of my comfort zone and I grew from it. Question number 12. I don't have enough fingers for this. This question is from JSGNICDAO. The question is, how different are the rehearsals for musical theatre over those for dance ballet pieces? So before I did Cats the Musical, I was just doing review shows, dance shows, so I was employed as a dancer, not a dancer-singer. And there's not a huge difference in the rehearsal process, but I would say musical theatre is a slightly longer process, purely because in musical theatre, I'm hired as a dancer and a singer. So for a couple of weeks, we're purely learning text, learning the songs, and then we move on to setting the show. So choreography, spacing, numbers. Whereas when I was just doing dance shows, we could learn the whole show in a week and it was done because it was just dancing. And obviously there's a bit more to it than that, but it was a quicker process. But having said that, every rehearsal process is different, whether it be musical theatre, ballet, dance, because every director and every company will have a different way of working, and it's always a new experience to go through a rehearsal process. So my next and last question is from Tom Starr, and he asked, what is one show you'd love to perform in? Honestly, there are so many shows that I would love to perform in, but I think my #1 show would be Wicked. I love Wicked so much. I think the costumes are incredible. I think the story is beautiful. The music is amazing. So hopefully one day I will get the chance to be in Wicked. I think before I did Cats, I probably would have answered Cats. So that's a big check off of my job bucket list, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Wicked I would absolutely love to do. Okay guys, that was it for today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun answering your guys' questions, and I definitely want to do more Q&As in the future. So if you have any ideas whatsoever of things you would like me to talk about, definitely leave me a comment down below and I will see what I can do. I really hope this video gave you some good advice, gave you a little insight into what my life is like as a performer. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget, if you want to get notified on every video I post, hit the little bell next to subscribe and you will be notified every time I post. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!